The hanging tricep dip is arguably not only one of the best tricep exercises, but one of the best upper body exercises. It hits the triceps and the chest muscles and some of the shoulder. And this basic version you see here is used extensively by elite gymnasts. Let's talk about some of the subtle nuances that make this exercise great and not so great. Ideally, you want straight legs and an engaged core with no excessive arching in the low back. Then you want to lower yourself with control. The humerus part of your arm, which is the part of your arm that goes from your elbow to shoulder, is at least parallel to the ground. Then when you come to full lockout, hold for a split second. If you choose to go lower than parallel, that's okay as well. It will depend on your shoulder mobility and shoulder health, but is not necessary. Keeping your body straight up and down like you see here is going to hit primarily the triceps. Now, when you make a subtle shift where you turn your chest towards the floor, angled forward slightly, this is just another variation where it's going to hit a little bit more of your lower chest muscles. It's not wrong, it's just a different variation, and it depends on what your goals are. Personal preference now is to go with the straight up and down version. It's also not wrong to cross your ankles and bend your knees like you see me do here. But the reason I stopped doing this variation is because it's harder to hold and stabilize your lower core, which translates to energy efficiency and movement efficiency to the whole entire dip. Now, this is subtle but very important. Watch the difference between this dip right here done correctly where I stay up and down. So I start up and down. Notice you will angle forward slightly, but watch this. Watch how I excessively push my body forward, coming into excessive shoulder extension before I dip. The reason we want to avoid this is because not only does it put your spine in extension, come into excessive shoulder extension under a load, which puts a lot of pressure or tension on that anterior shoulder capsule, which is the front of your shoulder. Paired once again to a correct dip with not too much extension. Another example of too much shoulder extension is on a simple bench dip or box dip. These reps here where my back stays flush to the box. I dip parallel and then I extend all the way up. Watch this shift. A lot of people do this. Back comes away from the box, putting them in way too much shoulder extension and creating way too much tension or shoulder pressure on that anterior shoulder capsule. Now, of course, doing this body weight without assistance is the goal. For many people, it's going to take quite a while to get there. So until then, use the assisted machine. Two variations. The one you see here, you have kind of a padded platform. You place your knees on it and it will assist you going up in the dip. Nothing wrong with using machine assistance. This is a different variation where you actually step on it and you're basically standing, but same thing where it's assisting you doing the dip. Now, when it comes to working the machine and what weight to choose, assisted machines work opposite of other machines, where the heavier you go actually makes the exercise easier. Why? Well, if I decide to place the pin in 45 pounds, and let's say I weigh 145 pounds, that takes 45 pounds off of my body weight and I am dipping the rest of my body weight. So you want to choose a weight or assistance on the machine where you can hit the prescribed amount of reps, but those last 2 or 3 are very difficult.